Hi, let us discuss audit evidence. Auditor's conclusions are based on the informations. For arriving the conclusions, auditor requires some informations. That informations will form part of audit evidence. Audit evidence is an information used by an auditor for arriving at the conclusions on which auditor's opinions are based. Audit evidence should possess two quality. One is qualitative aspect called appropriateness of audit evidence and quantitative aspects called sufficiency of an audit evidence. That means an audit evidence should fulfill the quality and quantitative aspects, and it is called the sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. What is appropriateness of an audit evidence? This is the measure of quality of audit evidence. How this quality is measured? That means the relevance and reliability of an audit evidence for providing supporting for the conclusion. How it is support to the conclusions. How relevant it is for supporting for the conclusion. How much it is reliable for the supporting for the conclusion is the measure of quality factor, and quantity factor is called sufficiency factor. How much quantity of audit evidence to be obtained is based on auditors assessment of risk called risk of material misstatement. If high ROMM situation, auditor has to examine more quantity than a low ROMM situation. Let us discuss the sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. As we discussed, an audit evidence should possess two requisite quality, that is called sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. Audit evidence should be needed quantity and the needed quality. Auditor have to design and perform audit procedure in such a manner that he shall obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. What are those procedures to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence? That is through the inspection, observation, inquiry and confirmation, recalculation, analytical procedure and reperformance. What is an inspection? This is the procedure number one. Inspection means examination of records, documents or examination of tangible assets. The records or documents may be internal or external or in paper form or electronic form or whatever the form it may be. Inspection of tangible assets may provide a reliable audit evidence with respect to the existence. In order to check an existence of an asset, inspection is the best tool, or existence of an item of expense also, inspection is the best tool. Observation involves witnessing a process or procedure being performed by the others without involving the process and procedure. Just witnessing the process and procedure which is performed by the others. For example, auditor may observe counting of inventory being performed by the client personnel, inquiry and confirmation. Seeking appropriate information from the knowledgeable person inside or outside the entity is called inquiry. Whatever the response obtained through the inquiry, that is called the confirmations. For example, auditor may request confirmation of receivable. Auditor confirm the account balance with the direct telephone communication with the debtors. Recalculations involves checking mathematical accuracy of documents or records. Recalculation may be performed manually or electronically. Analytical procedure is making an audit procedure with the help of significant trends and ratios and examining the unusual fluctuations therein. What are the information to be used as an audit evidence? When designing and performing audit procedure, auditor shall consider the relevance and reliability factor. What is the reliability factor? How it is increased? The reliability of audit evidence is increased when it is obtained from the independent source outside the entity, Reliability of audit evidence that is generated internally is increased when it is related controls are effective. If internal controls are powerful and strong, then reliability of audit evidence generated internally will be more reliable than external evidence. Evidence obtained directly by the auditor is more reliable than the evidence obtained indirectly. Evidence obtained in documentary form, whether it's paper form or electronic form, is more reliable than the evidence obtained orally. That means the written evidence is more powerful than an oral evidence. Audit evidence by the original documents is more reliable than those by the facsimile or the photocopies. If the evidence has been filmed, digitized, or otherwise transformed into an electronic medium format, reliability of which may be depends on the control over their preservation and maintenance. Relying on the work of management expert. Sometimes the auditor required to depends on rely on the work of an expert. Who is an expert? Expert is an individual or an organization who have expertise in a field other than accounts and audit. So that is the definition of expert. Following are the consideration. Evaluate the competency, capabilities and objective of the expert. Obtain an understanding of work of that expert. Evaluate the appropriateness of expert work as an audit evidence for relevant assertions. Matters related with information produced by the entity. Auditor shall evaluate whether the information is sufficiently reliable for auditor's purpose. What will happen if there are any inconsistencies happened in the information? If audit evidence obtained from one source is inconsistent with those obtained from other source, or auditor has doubt about reliability of information to be used as an audit evidence, if any of the above circumstances, auditor shall determine what modification or addition to the audit procedure are necessary to consider to resolve the matter, if any, on the aspects of the audit. So this is our small discussions of audit evidence. Thank you watching for the video. Have a nice day.